Market research can make or break your idea. Many people skip this stage because they think that it's not important or there's not enough value in research, or perhaps they think that the tools that they need to complete or to conduct their research is out of their hands. But it's very simple. Start with the most basic tenets of research, i.e. just ask people, take surveys, and of course use the internet. But within this module, I share with you a tool that I like to use. It's available to you at any public library or university. So get ready, enjoy, take notes, and let's get started on our research.
Module 3, Market Research. Lesson 1, How to Start Basic Research. Within my book, Future Talk, we discuss several factors when considering both your idea and the industry which you shall enter. Is your industry profitable? Is one consideration, meaning in which, is it worth you taking your time, your effort, your energy, and your resources to move into an industry if it's not going to, let's say, put money in your pocket? So if the margins are very, 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 very thin, it may cost you more to assemble the whole operation as opposed to what you could place that energy into and make maybe 3 or 4 times as much. So is your industry growing? Once you have the opportunity to research your industry, you'll see growth or a decline. So you'll see, okay, well, there's this many participants within this industry, but the demand is growing. And that's really what they're talking about here. So it's not just so much, are there more people entering this industry? Because that could actually work against you, but more so, is there a growing demand for this industry? Is there consistent demand within your industry? And that's kind of the same thing, meaning in which, okay, well, there's growth, but how frequently? Is it growth that is very, 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 very incremental or very granular, or is it noticeable growth or noteworthy growth? Is it growth like what we've experienced, let's say, in technology over the last few years, or is it growth like department stores? Got the idea? So what are the barriers to entry? And in consideration of the barriers to entry, how much money do I need? How difficult is it for me to enter this particular arena? Do I need any licenses or specialty license or degree or anything that may require a stipulation or some sort of certification from the government or something of that nature? So what are the barriers to entry? Is there a skill set that I have that I can realistically do, or is there someone else and whom I can bring in and they can execute for me? How much money is it going to cost you to realistically start this thing? Can you start it like you can the same way in which you can drive around for Uber? You just jump in your vehicle. It's not really costing you much, save for something that you're already paying for anyhow. Or is it something that's going to require for you to go into debt? And if so, how much debt? And is that debt going to be profitable? Meaning in which all debt is not bad, but if it's debt that's just downhill, and again, the margins are very thin, so there's really no upward potential, well, maybe you should give it another thought. Are there additional credentials required? And again, we kind of went over this. And can you work within the rules and laws of your chosen industry? Is your industry legal where you are? There are some places here in the United States where, let's say, hemp or CBD or byproducts of related nature may be prohibited. You may not even be able to touch those items or have them in your possession or whatever the case is. Whereas, in other states, it's booming. So just be cognizant of what the laws and regulations are in your territory. How long has the industry been around? And this does not necessarily mean that the industry has had to been around forever. It's more so, again, is it stable? Is it growing? Is this a growing industry? Is there a demand for this industry? And if it is new, well, what's the risk associated with it? What is the demand? What's the downside? Well, what did you have to do to get into it? And again, what are the risks? And are they low, medium, or high? $5,000 may be low to one person, but high to another. Maybe not even money, but your time. If you invest 3 or 4 years into something, that's high risk because you have opportunity cost in terms of your time. You could have committed that time to something else. Is there room to pivot or innovate? And again, going back to the department stores or there's quite a few businesses that just couldn't do it. And a lot of them are what I call TBTP, too big to pivot. So they have the capacity, but they're so vested in yesteryear's infrastructure that they can't just pivot in 2 seconds. It's too costly, or a lot of people are going to be very upset.